It wasn't just like you press record and you upload a video and boom, you're going viral. This is like, it's a process.
Sitting up late at night at 2 a.m. and trying to do these fine little tweaks of color grading, it's just like, bro, it's done.
I noticed that if I go off script, it's a lot more work to edit and try to make the things that I say coherent, because it's usually a bunch of babble.
There's no such thing as a completed project, only a deadline. And when I heard that, everything changed for me for the rest of my life.
Oh, wow, this you do not want to miss. To help you make better videos, I've reached out to some of my friends who are absolutely huge creators across the world, from TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, generating billions of views, millions of subscribers. You do not want to miss this, because I asked them what they do before they press record, their creative process, and they have dropped so much knowledge here. You do not want to miss this. So let's get going and intro these folks up, because these guys are legends.
For food dudes, pretty much we make simple, easy to follow recipes. Like the 614 Lyfe is more or less just pretty much entertainment, and I have the formula again down with that, where I know about just about any video go viral.
It's mainly about video and pretty much just giving you the skills to be better at being a videographer, filmmaker, cinematographer.
On this channel, it's just more about sharing the cool gear and sharing the features and highlighting maybe you've never heard of this product before. That's my job, to kind of like put it in front of you and show you what it does.
It would be really to collect and help people live a better life and build their business and build themselves.
Where does that start for you? Does it start with a script? Does it start you're out on a walk and there's a thought? Do you record it? How does that work? How does the ball start to roll?
Something pops into my head out of like the ether, and I go, is that good? Do I like it enough to put energy into it? That is usually a deciding factor of, do I really think that this is helpful, or something that somebody else hasn't spoken on? This is actually can be a flaw, because you can think of a great idea that's advanced, but that means it's not accessible. And then you go, it's good, but it's not gonna nail, it's not gonna land.
The one thing, my one philosophy with my channel when it comes to mainly with the gear reviews, is that it has to be used in actual practical applications. So if I have a job that's coming up, I will see if I can use that on the job, so I can see the pros and cons in the real world situation. Like I don't want to do a lens review and just sit in my office and just talk about the lens. I have to use that lens.
If I think of an idea, I immediately open my notes up and type it in my phone, because there's been a lot of times where I'm like, oh, that's a good idea for a video, and then I'll like get home and I'm like, oh, what is that idea? I can't remember what it was. Like, write it down the minute you think about it. You have to write it down. That way, that's one less thing for you to remember, and you can focus your energy on what you actually need to focus on, which is getting the video recorded.
A couple of years ago, I actually hired my wife. So she'll get like a list of products and she'll kind of throw them out to me. My problem is I say yes to everything. I love all the gear. I want to say yes to everything, but you can't. So that's her job, being the guard there. And so she will show me some products, and like a product like this, you know, how do you make a video about that? That's kind of even more of a challenge. Like, I want to make a video about that because it's so hard to do. Why not? Like, it's a good challenge.
Where do you start? Like, do you have it kind of templateized in your head that you need, I need to say this, and I need this shot and this shot and this shot. So what's that process like when you're kicking the idea off?
It's got to be very visually, like the opening has to be, like they call it scroll stopping. So like a scene that's going to stop you from scrolling. Okay, that's the first thing you got to do. Like, what can I do to stop them from scrolling? Then you have to keep them engaged for like 50 seconds of a 3-minute video. Like, it's really hard. But if you can get them, if you can just stay on for 50 seconds, like the rest is, you might as well just, take that one to the bank, because that's going to get at least 1 million views. So you have to think about that, though. You have to like, what kind of, like, might not be how you should make the recipe. Like, a lot of times you'll see, well, like, why are you putting a mixing bowl into the crock pot? Well, because we realize that if we switch frames, people stop watching. So if we keep the crock pot in frame with the bowl and mix it, we move the bowl out of frame, then we dump stuff in the crock pot. That's the main focus, is the crock pot, because that's what you're cooking in. Same thing with a casserole dish. Like, you have to figure out how can I film this without switching. Like, we don't show ourselves putting this stuff in the oven, because the minute we would do that, it would be, frame switches, boom, you're scrolling. So like, I'm redoing my kitchen right now to set it up optimize it for filming. So where my oven will be like, I'll have the camera facing me and I can cook the stuff on top of the stove, and then I can literally step back and put it into the oven all in one frame. So that way you're not switching frames, but now that adds like an extra 6 seconds to the video, which, you know, that's an extra 6 seconds they'll watch to see what the end result of the video is going to be.
Trying to think about a client. When a client comes to you, you find their problems and you need to find a solution to their problems. So I guess when it comes to a tutorial, I will come across a problem or at least a question that's been asked quite a lot, and I'll find the solution or create a video about that problem. Because generally if one person's got the problem, there'll be multiple people and it's a perfect video. But the way I think when it comes to if I make that video is I need to think about the title and thumbnail, and if I'm going to be clicking on that video, and if I won't click on that video, then I won't make it. It's annoying and it sucks, but that's the YouTube game we have to play.
I have a delicate balance after the idea pops into my head from whatever trigger. But the idea comes and then I go, do I want to put energy into this because my time is tight? Or I'm lazy. I'm wicked lazy. So it's both of those things. And I'm like, all right, this one's good. Or I have like a sponsor that I have to do it for. So that is the trigger. And then, like I said, I'm lazy. So I'm like, well, how can I do this as efficiently as possible? And that's the next tier.
I have a membership on my channel, and I'll do like unboxings like live for members. And so we're talking through some of the products and like learning about it as we go. Because a lot of times I'm going in fresh. Like I have no idea what this product is and what it's going to do. And if I'm shocked and like, whoa, it does that. Oh my gosh. Like I'll remember that and I'll put that in the video later on.
All right, let's talk about the planning and how deep does it go?
It's all planned out ahead of time. Like everything, like they're like, oh, you messed up. I'm like, no, it's all planned out. Like everything's planned out, like down to the drop of water you put somewhere, like to what's in the background, to you have to plan it all out ahead of time. Because it's not like, I mean, every once in a while you get lucky and you say something that you didn't plan out and it works. But for the most part, you need to consciously think about what you're going to do, think about how this is going to affect the video's engagement, and you just have to plan it all out. And it's not as easy as it seems. Like people just think you hit record. And it's like, well, if it was that easy, everybody would be doing it, you know. Like some of these videos take us, like the car videos when we're at McDonald's or Chick-fil-A or Wendy's. Like those videos, like it took. We had because I'm from Ohio and Kyle's from Texas, so like we're not close at all in the geography. Like I gotta get on a plane and fly 2.5 hours to film with him, and vice versa. So we have like a 2-3 hour phone call beforehand. We plan out like we gotta film 20 videos while we're there to make this trip worthwhile, and then, you know, so that goes on. We kind of plan out like what videos we know are gonna work. So then we go to the backlog, like what videos worked before on our channel. So, okay, we're going to do a similar, like, okay, crock pots are working now because it's, you know, they're seasonal. So it's cold out. Like right now it's warm, so they're not going to work. People aren't going to cook in their crock pots when it's warm out. That's like a winter, fall time recipe. So those are out of the picture now. Now we got to think about barbecue stuff. So like, these are all things you have to, you know, you have to be like, oh, well, crock pot worked then. Well, it's not going to work in the summer. Like it still might be getting views because it worked. It's in the algorithm now where that video did really well, so it's still getting engagement. But like if you put a new one out, probably not going to work.
Well, generally what would happen, I'll break it down. So when I get the email, I'll try and organize a shoot. Or if I've got a job that I know that product will work well on that shoot, I'll use it in that shoot. And then I'll try and get BTS of me using it in that shoot while also having the footage of that shoot. And then I'll do a full talking head, because then I've also had time with the product to know what to talk about as well. If there were pros, if there were cons. And then if I miss something or I need to add something, that's when I'll try and use it on another shoot that's coming up. And yeah, essentially it's almost getting B-roll or actual filming using it, and then doing the talking head, then getting more B-roll to support what I've talked about in that talking head.
Depending on the product, if I was out testing it out, I might get the B-roll as I'm testing the product out to see what it does. Like if it's a gimbal, you're obviously shooting it out, seeing how it follows you or does all the things that it says it does, and then getting those shots, and then I can kind of write that script off of that, and then some of it's already done, but then it's like, okay, I need a little bit more. I want to show a little bit more of the buttons, so I can go film that after. Like I'll cut it all up as I'm editing, like all the talking stuff, making sure it's all fluid and just basically done that way. And then it's like a puzzle piece at that point. It's like getting the B-roll to, put on top of it.
Do you sit down every week, every month, and just write everything down, or use some piece of software to take track of it, or is it just go, fuck it, I'm just whatever, it's happening?
Come on, Vic.
You're a Nazi.
I'm terrible.
You're a Nazi. I know. I get it.
I'm just whatever goes. Nah, usually my process is obviously an email comes in. Yeah. I'll write down the job that I need to do on piece of paper. Yeah. I'm old school. I'm sure you're probably old school as well with paper and pen. And I just go for it, especially when it comes to Instagram. I have to do usually a reel a day. I'll open up Instagram, get some inspiration, record a reel, pump it out, get it done. Yeah, my process as a business, it sucks. but the thing is, I'm getting paid and I'm having fun, and that's all I care about.
That's the main thing. It's nothing to do with the fact that everything in Australia is trying to kill you, and you're just trying to get a lot of shit done, right?
Well, it's all about speed. If you don't get it done, you'll have like a snake or a spider trying to kill you.
So when you get that idea down, let's just say it's just a one-liner, right? How do you develop that out then? We'll say, and I know people are like, oh, sure, you're just pressing record and it's just food. But obviously, as you've just said, there's a lot to it. So how do you develop the initial thought into just everything is set up and you're ready to press record?
Like I got this, like I'll just write stuff down like this. And I'll cross it off, or like I have another sheet somewhere, like when I put words on the screen, like I learned, like they don't teach you this in school. Like there's different phrases that I wrote out. I have like maybe a sheet of like 30 or 40 of them, and I'm like, okay, this phrase I'll try it today, and then if it works, I'm like, okay, that's a good phrase to use, so I'll like check it, and I'll just have like, I should probably be a little bit more organized, or just like random paper all over my desk with. I can't really read the handwriting on some of it, but that's pretty much what I do. And then now, like in my phone, if I think of an idea, I immediately open my notes up and type it in my phone, because there's been a lot of times where I'm like, oh, that's a good idea for a video, and then I'll like get home and I'm like, oh, what is that idea? I can't remember what it was. Like, write it down the minute you think about it. You have to write it down. That way, that's one less thing for you to remember, and you can focus your energy on what you actually need to focus on, which is getting the video recorded.
I've been an editor for like 30 years, so I'm like really like I hate editing more than anything. So I'm like, I need to do this as fast as possible, and so I film it as fast as possible and I edit as fast as possible, because I want to get the idea across with as minimal amount of work. It is very spontaneous. It's like, okay, Saturday's coming up and I can't stop thinking about this one idea. I go ahead with it.
The title is the main thing I think about, at least if, to curate the story, I at least need to have a title that I've sort of got in my head that I can sort of build the story off that. My thumbnail comes right at the end, unfortunately, but it's the thumbnail kind of works with whatever title I choose and how the story sort of plays out.
I gotta jump in here real quick for a quick shout out to our sponsors of this video. In fact, I could not have made this video without the help of Riverside FM. Riverside FM is the ultimate platform for podcast and video recordings. It delivers studio quality audio. You can even get 4K video. And here's the thing, right? Even if some of your guests are on the bad connection, it's all recorded locally on their computer, and then that's been uploaded to the cloud. So you get the best possible version. No dodgy streaming, compression crap. And the other thing, right? All of these things can be super, super complicated to set up. With Riverside FM, it was just a case of, here's the link, and this is the time that we're doing it. I even stuck the link into a Calendly appointment, and that was it. And everybody just turned up when they were supposed to. And in the middle of June, Riverside FM are dropping an absolutely huge update. So if you've used it in the past, if you thought it was good then, wait until you see what is coming from the middle of June. Now, if you want to check that out, I've left a link in the description. So now let's bounce back into some more knowledge bombs. If you thought what's already come so far was good, you ain't heard or seen nothing yet. Business, my friends, is about to pick up. What's the one thing that you believe everybody should be doing before they press record?
Get an understanding of what the purpose of your video is going to be and who it's for. So that would be a good start. And also, if you have wrinkly clothes, maybe change your shirt or iron it. I've done that before and it looks terrible on video.
Be yourself. That's the main reason why I got rid of the teleprompter, so I wasn't some sort of perfect curated guy that would be talking specs and everything had to be perfect. It's literally just have the idea in your head, know what you're going to say, and be confident in what you're going to say, and just say it. You know, because everyone has a voice, everyone has a unique way of telling the story, doing a gear review. That's the beauty about being human and being a YouTuber, is that we can have the same product, but we could all have completely different videos.
One of the things that I never did when I was new at things was to not jump in really fast. And I know that's actually, if it's taken wrong, it can be bad advice. It can turn somebody into like a procrastinator. But if you truly actively step back and you look at it and you think about it and you can map it out in your head a little bit. Great example is you do drone stuff, right? I fly a drone. I can be up and down. I time it between 7 and 5 minutes. I can get every shot I want in a drone. I worked on that. It was like 45 minutes down to 7. So the shift is exactly what I'm talking about. And I'll use this for an example of when I use drones. So I'll go and I'll go, let's say I'm at the beach. I go, okay, sunset's perfect, everything's here. Normally you fly up the drone, you have a good time and you enjoy it. But if you actively just hold back, just like a edit, and you think about it and you go, okay, what are all the things I need? Don't just get excited. And you go, okay, I would love to get a sunset. I want that horizon. I want this. And you plan it out a little. You go, maybe I could do a little triangle. And then on this way back, I'll do a strafing, like go to the side so I can get that. And then I'll knock it down here to look down to the ground. And I plan it all out in my head. I don't do anything in the physical world. It's almost like I just don't have any tools. And I get that really clear first.
It's gonna sound like super simple or easy, but like the most important thing you can do to get ready for a video is just record the video. Because a lot of times people were literally prepare, and they'll never record the video. Like they're like, oh, I'm gonna wait till I get this, and this, then I'm gonna start recording videos. Like just do it. And it will all work itself out to where you kind of, you'll figure out your own flow. Like everyone's going to be a little bit different. Like maybe some people have to write something down. Maybe some people can just go right off the top of their head. Maybe, but if you never record the video, there's no point in even preparing for it, in my opinion. And a lot of times people, they never record a video,
This was an absolutely huge edit. There's weeks of work gone into this. So I do hope, and actually I do know, you have got some value out of this video. Big thanks to Noah, Food Dude 614 Lyfe, Jason Morris, Mr. Black, Danny Black, and Jeffrey Buoncristiano. These guys were so generous with their time. They dropped amazing knowledge. So if you have got some value out of this, not only check out their channels, the links are in the description, but give this video a like. And by the way, there's full interviews of these guys available coming very, very soon. So if you think what they dropped now was good, you might just want to subscribe to see what comes next.
Just have 2 channels and just like you can have Vic Barry and then you can have Very Bic, and then just post the exact same videos. Maybe just tweak a couple of things and then just see what grow. Which one wins, Vic Barry or Very Bic?
That's really,
which would be a great name. Very Bic. Actually, think Very Bic.
Very Bic. Yeah. I love it, dude. I gotta write that one down.
You're really into those pens.
Thank you for making that singlet memorable back in the day.
You'll never see the singlet ever again, all right? Unless I come to Ireland and we get drunk.
Oh, Jesus Christ. It won't be singlets we'll be wearing then, but anyway.
No, thanks for having me on. It was really cool.